Hello and welcome to Blade Bench. Today we are checking out a pocket sword. This thing is the Voyager XL Tanto with the straight edge. There's no serrations or anything. And this bad boy is so cool and so mean and definitely one of those really cool knives where you whip it out and, freak out everyone around you, whether that's, coworkers, employees, just people walking by or whatever. It's one of those knives where when you pull it out, people wonder, why does that guy have such a massive knife in his pocket? And it's folding too, so I mean, it doesn't seem so big when you kind of very quickly pull it out, but then you very quickly realize that, oh, that thing is a monster. I absolutely love these XL size cold steel Voyagers. I just think they're super cool, and the value is amazing on these things. They're huge. They use the AUS10A Japanese blade steel, which I love. I find I've never had any problem with it. It's a good balance between, corrosion resistance, but also edge retention. And these Tontos are they're actually hollow ground blades, and you can kind of tell that here by this little, scoop. Um, See how you can actually see how it's actually a hollow grind on this blade. So it's super, super strong and super thick. These Tontos are really, really strong, that Cold Steel makes. That's, I know they pride themselves on having super long Tonto um, blades, whether they're the fixed blade or these big folders, the Recon series knives or these, Voyagers. But yeah, super cool, really thick. So yeah, these have the AUS10A blade steel, 4 millimeter thick blade stock, which is thick thick as heck, all the way basically right to the tip, and it narrows quite abruptly, kind of right at the end there. And you can see, I know, actually one of my viewers, I did a review on the CRKT M16 14D, which is a Tonto. Go check that vid out if you want to. It's a really cool knife. But he mentioned, and it's true, that it's just their Tonto design isn't, straight across the spine like this for maximum strength. Um, so these cold steel ones, they do that. So they've with this Tonto design and the spine being straight all the way to the tip makes it, for any sort of, stabbing or puncturing, heavy duty stuff, like, guys are stabbing these things through car hoods and stuff like that. You get maximum strength at this tip and power output. So yeah, these are just super cool. And around here, I mean, I'm up in Canada, these things are about $120, $129 or something like that. I would pay that all day long for one of these huge knives. The value, even just the size, I mean, the value you're getting just for all this meat is amazing. This has a 5.5 inch blade, which is pretty big. That's a pretty big pocket knife. My perfect knives are anywhere from, for EDC, are anywhere from about 4 inches to about 5.5 inches. So for me, a 5.5 inch blade is perfect for EDC. You can do any sort of task you can do with a smaller knife, basically. But you got all the tasks you can do with a really big knife too. So you can kind of do it all in one with one of these things. So yeah, 5.5 inch blade, 4 millimeter thickness, and of course it's got that super strong triad lockback that cold steel does. So you just push down on that to close it. Of course, you really got to watch out opening and closing these things because that blade is heavy, and when you close it, man, if you get your finger stuck in there, that tip or that chunk of meat or whatever is going to be gone. These things come absolutely razor sharp. And with that AUS10A steel, I find they hold an edge really well. I just kind of hone my knives every once in a while. I haven't had to do any major sharpening on this thing. But yeah, here, let's just check it out. I'll give you some close-ups because I know when I want to kind of buy one of these or check one out, I just kind of want to see it. So it's got the stonewash blade finish. Kind of give you a bit of a close-up there. And you can see that kind of stonewashy finish. It says Voyager on that side. Thumb studs for opening. And it's got the Griv-Ex handles, which I really like these Voyager handles. They've got this almost like German iron cross texture to it, which is quite raised. You can kind of see all the little bevels on there. You can see how raised that is. It's just a hard plastic, but super, super grippy, and it's got a cool look to it. It's got a really unique grip to it. And one of the things that I love about these XL cold steels, or really a lot of their knives, is they have these cutouts for all the different grip positions you can do, and they actually design them like that so that, I mean, if you wanted to fight with a knife like this, I am definitely not a knife fighter, but if you wanted to, or you had to just fend something off, I mean, you could choke way back to here. The overall length on this thing is 12.25 inches, so this whole knife is over a foot long, which is pretty wild. So when you're holding on to the back here, your arms now got a whole extra foot of reach with this blade that you can, you know, no one's gonna want to get too close to you with one of these things. They're just mean and, you know, ugly looking and just, you know, pretty savage. So yeah, really nice grips. Feels amazing in the hand, different positions. There is a lanyard hole. And a pocket clip, classic cold steel pocket clip. It's really the only thing that ever really shows wear on these knives is just the paint on these pocket clips there. So same thing on the back, cold steel, Taiwan, AUS10A, thumb stud again. And you can whip these things open. I don't think I can do it on camera, but I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try not to whack my camera, but you can, try not to cut myself. You can whip these things open really nicely. So even without the thumb studs, of course you can open it with the thumb stud like any regular thing, but you can you can whip these things open because the blade's so heavy. And one of my other knives, there's a brand called Snaggletooth out there. I'm going to do a review on my cold steel counterpoint, which is a 6-inch dagger point blade. Super cool. I'm going to do a review on that soon. But Snaggletooth makes this little thing. It's basically like a little hook, kind of like the Espadas have or the Spartan. They've got like a thumb disc so that you can wave it out of your pocket. So when you pull it out, it deploys automatically. And Snaggletooth actually has a little thing where you undo the thumb stud. You know, it's just a little threaded stud that you just kind of unscrew. And then you screw on this, basically like this little hook thing, and it's not super obtrusive or anything like that. You can still use it as a thumb stud, but if you wanted that wave feature on a Voyager knife or something that doesn't have it, because I think they do it for a whole bunch of other knives, not just the cold steel, you can install it, and it's super quick and easy. And then when you pull it out of your pocket, instead of having to, you know, pull it out and thumb stud it or give it the whacka, you could just, you know, pull it straight out of your pocket, and it'll deploy just like, you know, deploy immediately. So when you pull it out, she's just ready to rock. So yeah, very, very cool knives. I love these Voyager XLs. In fact, all the Voyager ones. I've got the medium ones, I've got large ones, and I've got the XL ones. So I'll be doing some videos of all of them so that you can check them out. I've used them a lot for work knives because they're just beaters. They don't cost a ton, and you can beat on them, and they'll just take it all day long. And they're just super cool. One of the best things ever, you know, is when you're working with your buddy at work or whatever, you got to open a box or do whatever you're doing with a knife, and you whip out one of these, and they just, like their jaw drops, like, what the heck are you doing? They've got their little box cutter or something, and you've got one of these. Kind of open up one of these, and you're immediately at kind of boss level knife. So yeah, really, really cool. Really, really cool. So there you go. Give you just a quick view of the top. So it's got a, you know, full back spacer there, so it's not hollow, or rather it doesn't have little, just small spacers. Triad lock. There is a little bit of jimping built into the Griv-Ex there, just a little bit, not super aggressive. It's kind of hard to give you a shot of how deep that jimping is. It's enough. It's more than nothing. And then there's a shot of just the inside, the bottom view for those who care, because I know some people do. There we go. Looks pretty clean in there. I try to clean these things out before these reviews, because these are my daily carries. All of these knives that I'm doing these reviews of are all daily carries of mine that go into rotation, so they get dirty and gross and whatever. But I clean them up just so that you guys aren't seeing all the dirt and grime. So there you go, super cool knife. This is one of my favorites by far out of my whole collection. Value's there, and just the cool factor is there, the strength is there. Just overall a very impressive, really, really awesome knife. Definitely recommend anybody pick up one of these things. All right, guys, if you like the video, please like it and please subscribe. It helps grow the channel. And it also gets you notified so that when I put out more of these videos, because I plan to do a whole ton of my whole collection, you'll get to see them. Right on. Well, thanks for sticking around. See you next time.